Hello viewers and welcome to another match of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. My name is Mitch and I am the Hive Tyrant. Today we've a game from the heart of Fantasy Flight Games itself, straight out of the event center in Roseville, Minnesota. To the left, we have a gentleman named Dustin Drake. He begins the game holding our initiative token and he happens to have placed within the top 8 of the 2015 Conquest LCG World Championships. Furthermore, during day 1 of that same tournament, he was the one and only player to go entirely undefeated during 7 consecutive rounds of Swiss. Therefore, we're not just treated to the full tarot-sized extended art planet cards, as you can clearly see in front of you, but also Dustin, as the top-scoring Dark Eldar faction player, also gained access to the unique acrylic Dark Eldar faction-themed resource tokens you can see in front of him. To the right, we have his adversary today, somewhat of an underdog. It is Doug Nordine, playing as an alternate art version of Eldorath Starbane, whereas Dustin is playing as his tried-and-true Packmaster Kith. Looks like our first deploy action is going to be one of the signature army units, Kith's Chimera Masters, out to planet number 3. Now we've got a second copy out to planet number 5. They, for the cost of 2, have a command icon, 1 attack, 2 hit points. They generate, most important of all, a creature trait 2/1 Chimera token. At planet number 5, we've now got a copy of Void Pirate and Rogue Trader played out by Doug. They're each 1 cost, 1 command icon, 0 attack, 1 hit points units, but 1 has a resource bonus and 1 has a card bonus. We've got another deploy action coming fast and furious here. Planet number 3, that's going to be a copy of the Bealtan Guardians, ubiquitous in Eldar, 1 cost, 2 command icons, 1 attack, 1 hit point, and we have yet another copy of Kith's Chimera Masters and a Chimera Den. So that's going to be planets 3 through 5 with the Chimera Masters, 1 command icon apiece, plus we've already got 3 Chimera tokens, plus we've already got the monumentally powerful Chimera Den, which is a support that, as an action, you can basically pile all of your Chimeras upon one target planet. So if Eldorath shows up anywhere alone, he's potentially going to just be absolutely slaughtered by not just 1, not just 2 or 3, but 4 Chimera tokens on the first turn. So Eldorath has a bit of an uphill battle against Packmaster Kith. A Packmaster Kith with an opening hand of a trio of Chimera Masters plus Den is going to be a little bit difficult to surmount for our Eldar player, but I've definitely got nothing but the utmost of faith there in my dear Sir Doug. Planet number 1, by the way, is going to be that random card discard planet Barlas. It's got Autarch Salakia upon it. Cost of 4 unique Eldar faction units debuting within the Great Devourer Deluxe expansion. For the cost of 4, it's a 3/3 with a command icon. You can invest an additional resource until the end of the round. It gains Armor Bane or Area Effect 1 or Mobile to move around. But planet number 1 is going to be a couple of cards to the right for Eldorath. Eldorath did arrive at that planet. Planet number 2 is going to be nothing for either player. Planet number 3 is going to be a couple of cards to the right for Doug. Planet number 4 is going to be a card to the left for Dustin. Planet number 5, the presence of Packmaster Kith, is going to be a card and a resource won by Kith, and Kith is going to be able to shut off that Rogue Trader and Void Pirate bonus, plus she's going to be able to basically do whatever it is that she would like to do. She can kind of give in to her Dark Eldar desires and probably flay the skin off of the Rogue Trader and Void Pirate there. But planet number 1, that force random card discard planet, is going to be added to the victory display of homeboy Doug Nordine, and that's going to be a random card discard. What exactly is it going to be? That's going to be an ubiquitous. It's going to be an Incubus Warrior, rather similar sounding words there. Incubus Warrior is going to be discarded by Dustin Drake. So that's going to be a Chimera token destroying that Rogue Trader, that Void Pirate. Those are both going to be dead. They are going to be added to our Eldar player's victory display, and that is going to bring us to the end of this round here. So Chimera Den has yet to relocate any of these tokens. I suppose Dustin need not use it before it's ready, and that is going to be Karnath, and it looks like Karnath triggered Elwith for him, so he's going to have the opportunity to add 1 card to his hand. He's going to put basically, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, you add 1 to your hand, you put the remaining 2 on the bottom of your deck in the order of your choice. And who knows what exactly he picked. New 5th planet, as we go through our HQ phase here, is going to be Aatrox Prime, which is going to be great if, let's say, Dustin was so kind as to pile all of his Chimera tokens at planet number 4. That would be a great opportunity for Eldorath to absolutely obliterate those. But Eldorath has got that 4-cost unit now stuck in his HQ, and I suppose if Dustin plays it slowly, cautiously, he's going to be able to basically wrap a smothering blanket around Doug and cut off all of his cards and resources. Really, the only other thing that could go wrong for Doug at this point is if we were to see Archon's Palace grace the tabletop. But it's going to be our initiative, currently in the possession of, I believe it should be Doug, because that did start the game in Dustin Drake's possession. Note that each of our planets is going to be oriented facing toward the player that has initiative while it is planet number 1. That's going to be a Murder of Razor Wings, a 1-cost, 1/1 creature unit that elicits a forced random a random discard akin to Barless there, and that is going to be a copy of Nullify being discarded. What does that mean, my dear viewers? It means that Archon's Terror is now potentially not going to be nullified, and that means that some of these scarcely few units that our Eldar player might be able to bring to bear against Packmaster Kith may not end up working out so well. So we see Pact of the Homunculi. That's going to be the signature event for Packmaster Kith. That's going to be an Empower discarded. You sacrifice a unit. It was a Chimera token in that case to draw 2 cards and cause your opponent to discard 1. So for, I believe, the cost of 2 resources, it creates a bit of a card discrepancy there, and that's going to be 2 total card discards thus far elicited by our Packmaster. Planet number 1, we've got a copy of Incubus Warrior successfully played, not in the discard pile for once. It's going to be a 2-cost, 2-command icon, 3-attack, 1-hit-point warrior trait unit, played out by Eldorath, and at planet number 5, we've got a second copy of Beeltan Guardian. So let's see here. We've got a Rogue Trader at planet number 2 for Dustin Drake. Like I said before, that's going to be a bit of a resource bonus at that planet. I wouldn't be surprised to see Packmaster Kith show up at planet number 2 so she can win Eloith, get that battle ability, plus get that resource bonus afforded by the Rogue Trader, because it sucks if you just match command icons. You may as well win in this game. We've got another Rogue Trader at planet number 3. We've got a Slith Mercenary at planet number 5. That's going to be a 1-cost, 2-command icon, 2-attack, 2-hit-point warrior trait unit that either player can purchase for the cost of just 2 resources, which is a bit of a bargain if you don't ask me myself, but definitely doing rather well in regard to command is going to be our Packmaster to the left, Captain Dustin Drake. He's thrown out a copy of Raid because it wasn't as if Eldorath wasn't already enough deprived economically, so that's going to be +1 resource for Dustin, -1 resource for Doug. And what exactly are we going to see here? I can only imagine that Packmaster Kith is going to be showing up at planet number 2, and what exactly could Eldorath do? Eldorath is going to be showing up at a planet Exhausted, but wherever it is that Eldorath goes, we could see all those Chimera tokens pile up at that same planet. Looks like, interestingly, we do not actually see Packmaster Kith arrive at planet number 1. That's going to be our Packmaster trying to block off the Aatrox Prime firing at planet number 5, and it looks like Dustin's going to be lucky enough to have Aatrox Prime with the opportunity to fire at Eldorath's HQ there. But Eldorath arrives at planet number 1. That's going to be a resource to the right for Eldorath. Planet number 2 is going to be nothing for either player because 2 command icons equals 2 command icons. Planet number 3 is going to be a card and a resource to the left for Dustin. Planet number 4 is going to be a card and a resource to Dustin. And planet number 5, in case you could not tell, it's going to be a card and a resource to the left for Packmaster Kith. So planet number 1, we've got that Incubus Warrior. We've got the Autarch Salakia. That is going to be a copy of Warpstorm. Looks like Dustin Drake probably some time ago changed from being Eldar allied to being very chaos focused. He's probably much more focused on discard than are most players. Warpstorm is going to nicely soften up all of these units. It's going to be a couple of points of damage to Eldorath. It's going to be a couple of points of damage to Autarch Salakia, which, by the way, did not move mobile. That opportunity is past. Like, Autarch Salakia did not have mobile, did not shift away from that planet. That is going to be the Chimera Den shifting, it looks like, 5 Chimera tokens to planet number 1. Eldorath was unfortunately unable to trigger that trigger a nullify based on the Warpstorm, and now that is going to be all of those Chimera tokens absolutely wrecking Autarch Salakia. Autarch Salakia is going to be slaughtered. The Incubus Warrior was destroyed by the fires of the Warpstorm. The dynamism of the Warp has rent apart the body of that Incubus Warrior there. That is going to be the first of probably several planets being added to Dustin Drake's victory display. That's going to be a triple icon planet. It's going to be one of each kind: material, strong point, and technology. Red, green, and blue. And now, what exactly are we going to see? We're going to see a battle break out at planet number 5. Of course, that's going to be another point of damage being dealt out to Eldorath. That, therefore, is going to be, so far, I believe that is 3 damage placed upon poor Eldorath. He used his first combat turn in order to retreat from that giant horde of rampaging Chimera. I suppose I don't really, well, I guess I don't think that Eldorath had any resources, so we couldn't see anything cute, like Gift of Isha, bringing Autarch Salakia back, giving him or her area effect, and then potentially killing off all those Chimera. Dustin probably would not have sent so many Chimera to the planet if he was afraid of that possibility, so, you know, like I said, that would have been 3 resources to try to pull off that cute little effect for Doug, and I don't know if it would have necessarily worked out. But planet number 1, we see a copy of Promotion affixed to that Rogue Trader. Therefore, I imagine that Kith is probably not going to be showing up at planet number 1 if she wants to stockpile as many command icons as possible at that planet to try to win at that planet. And once again, initiative is going to be going back to Dustin there to the left. That's going to be a copy of the Prophetic Farseer, one of our new Eldar units as of the Planetfall cycle, I believe Decree of Ruin specifically. I believe it's going to be a 3-cost 1 command icon 2/4 Psyker unit, where you look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and you can discard any of those cards that happen to have shield icons printed upon them. Looks like he hit at least a little bit of gold. That's going to be at least 1 copy of Archon's Terror now gracing the discard pile of Dustin Drake. And this match is coming fast and furious. Looks like a single, a 1-cost Void Pirate is immediately going to shut down the audacity of Doug to try to win command at a planet there. Like, how dare Eldorath try to win a command struggle against the might of Packmaster Kith, competitive powerhouse. Planet number 5, that is going to be Farron, by the way, our new last planet to be revealed this game. That's got a couple of resources associated with it. It's going to basically be the route, a target unit planet, and pretty much anything is eligible to be routed here. So I would imagine Packmaster Kith is not going to be showing up at planet number 1. That's going to be another copy of Murder of Razorwings being played. That's going to be a copy of Slith Mercenary being discarded, and it just looks as if Doug cannot catch a break during this match. Planet number 3, he's got a copy of one of those Warlord Friend units. It's going to be the 2-cost Bloodied Reavers, a vehicle that's not war gear eligible, 1 command, 2 attack, 2 hit points, and provided a Warlord is at that same planet, it's going to be able to attack for a +2 value bonus, but it's now going to be across a copy of Incubus Warrior. That means Dustin's going to be able to presumably win command at that planet as well, and it looks like things could scarcely be going any better for our Packmaster. So Packmaster Kith is going to have to win at planet number 1, planet number 2, and that means we could see this game come to a close as quickly as that. That's going to be Karnath, as Kith's destination looks like Kith is going to try to kill off that copy of Bloodied Reavers, and that is going to be a whole hell of a lot of Chimera tokens being deposited at that same planet. Looks like Eldorath shows up at planet number 5. He's going to exhaust that Void Pirate. He's going to be able to win command at that planet and route a target unit. But God, with so many Chimera tokens, it scarcely matters. Planet number 1, by the way, is going to be a couple of cards there to the left to Dustin. Planet number 2 is going to be a card and a resource to Dustin. Planet number 3 is going to be a card and a resource to the left to Dustin. Planet number 4 is going to be a card and a resource to the left for Dustin. Planet number 5 is changing pace here. It's going to be 2 resources to Eldorath. So Eldorath now has enough for a Gift of Isha. Planet number 1, that is going to be a Murder of Razorwings, killing that Bealtaine Guardians. I guess that Eldar aspect armor is not going to be sufficient to protect your eyes and nose and throat area from Razorwings picking you apart, and perhaps that Bealtaine Guardians ended up dying from asphyxiation via birds. But that's going to be Eloith added to Dustin's victory display. Once again, he's going to be granted the opportunity to basically pick from the top 3 cards of his deck whatever's most beneficial to him. I would imagine it's probably going to be something along the lines of an Archon's Terror. Now it's going to be up to Eldorath to try to win off this, block off Dustin's victory condition at our soon-to-be planet number 1. That is going to be a copy of Bloodied Reavers being discarded, by the way. The Incubus Warrior swings for 3. That is a dead Bloodied Reavers, and now that is going to be Karnath, triggering Aatrox Prime. Aatrox Prime is going to deal a point of damage to Eldorath and the Prophetic Farseers. The Prophetic Farseer is going to be set up at that planet, and now that's going to be Eldorath sitting just at 3 hit points, so we could see these Chimera tokens be relocated, and if that is indeed the case, then that means that volume of tokens is potentially going to prevent Eldorath from being able to win at that planet. But I suppose if it were me, I'd just be using my Chimera Den now to potentially move all these. That's going to be another copy of Warp Storm, ladies and gentlemen, so that, as a combat action, is going to be 2 points of damage to each and every unit at that planet that does not happen to possess an attachment. That's going to be Eldorath Starbane, now at 1 hit point. That's going to be Prophetic Farseer, now at 1 hit point. That is going to be Chimera Den, shifting a whole lot of Chimera tokens to that same planet. One of those Chimera tokens happens to have been ready because of Packmaster Kith's, of course, printed reaction. That is going to be a bloodied alternate art Eldorath Starbane, so it looks as though the Chimera token there managed to successfully chew off our Psyker's hand. At the end of the combat round, all of those Chimera tokens are going to ready. That means we're going to see a unit routed, but unfortunately it does not look as though there are going to be any targets for that effect. Therefore, the Prophetic Farseer at the end of the combat round retreats. That means both of our players are going to come across 4 resource tokens and 2 cards as we move presumably into what's going to be our final round here. That means, God, I guess our Eldar player, I believe, yeah, he's allied with Dark Eldar, so really all he's got at his disposal is going to be Archon's Terror. Now it's going to be up to Packmaster Kith to send a whole bunch of units to planet number 1 and just try to fight off a bloodied Eldorath Starbane. Eldorath is going to have to send himself to planet number 1, but, I mean, what exactly is he going to be able to do? We've got a copy of Solarite Avedis, which, if memory serves, is going to be a 4-cost, 1-command, 2/4 unit. That as a reaction after it takes damage, you deal 2 points of damage to its attacker. The Incubus Warrior that Doug played out opposite it is going to be able to attack for 3, cut down to 2 because it's a flying unit, and if you shield that to 1, that means the Incubus Warrior might end up being killed just because of that printed reaction, and I don't think that our Eldar player's been doing well enough economically to stomach all those effects. We see another copy of Prophetic Farseer, a 3-cost 2/4, which is not going to be enough bang for his combat-focused buck. In order to be able to win that planet, it's not going to be able to surmount Solarite Avedis. It's going to be able to attack for 2, cut to 1, then it's going to take 2 points of damage, and the Solarite's going to be able to attack for 2 itself. And, things are just looking like they've gone all the way bad this game for Doug, whether or not it's his fault or whether Packmaster Kith has just got the dream hand, and of course it's a rather formidable player at the helm, piloting Packmaster Kith to victory, and it definitely looks like she's got kind of a horned crown, so I'm just envisioning Dustin Drake literally riding upon Packmaster Kith's shoulders and directing her into battle as she spews out Chimera token after Chimera token. So this is going to be Packmaster Kith showing up at planet number 5, dropping off a whole bunch of economy units and serving to deprive our opponent of, I believe that's a rogue trader or void pirate, scarcely matters at this point at that planet, but planet number 1, Eldorath, is going to show up. That's going to be Solarite Avedis sitting at that planet, being a massive thorn in Eldorath's side. Eldorath is not going to be able to exhaust a unit. Planet number 1, that's going to be a card for Eldorath. Planet number 2, that's going to be a card and a resource to the left for Kith. Planet number 3 is going to be a card and resource for Kith, and planet number 4 is going to be a couple of resources for Kith, plus another resource because of a rogue trader, and that is going to be Kith's opportunity to shut down the possibility of Eldorath winning at that planet. And fewer resources means fewer Gift of Ishas, fewer Empowers, and all sorts of different effects like that. So Eldorath has initiative at planet number 1. That is going to be an Archon's Terror there, removing an Incubus Warrior from that planet. What exactly are we going to see? That 1 HP remaining Prophetic Farseer is going to arrive at that planet exhaust. That is going to be a copy of Clavex Warleader. Oh god, that is going to be a dead Prophetic Farseer. Now it's going to be the opportunity there for the Clavex Warleader itself to attack. I imagine I must have missed an attack at some point, but the Clavex Warleader is going to deal out points of damage to the Prophetic Farseer. Fortunately for Eldorath, there's not going to be enough resources left for either a Archon's Terror or a Clavex Warleader, but that Prophetic Farseer is practically dead. We end up seeing now, what exactly is it going to be? That is going to be the Chimera Den used to deposit a just mountain of tokens at that planet, and that is going to be the GG right there. So good game, well played by both of our players. It was a little bit of a stomp done by Packmaster Kith, but powerhouse Dustin Drake manages to win this one at the very heart of Fantasy Flight Games itself. So the walls of the event center practically quake with the stampeding Chimera tokens, and it looks like Eldorath Starbane just could not catch a break. This was a little bit of a one-sided match, but I just definitely want it recorded to go down in time just how powerful Packmaster Kith is at this point in our current meta. Just because it looks like up-and-comer Broderick War is definitely stealing the limelight from her, but spectacularly well played by Dustin Drake, and all the same well played indeed to Doug Nordine. So, my dear viewers, thank you very much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already, or if you are already subscribed, as ever, I implore that you engage with this content. Hit the like button, leave a comment, or or share this video. All of it means that more eyes are going to be upon Conquest LCG. That might mean more players are drawn to our game, they might join our living card game community, and of course, the greater we are in number, the bigger message we together send to Fantasy Flight Games, telling them to continue to support and develop this fantastic product. If at any point you'd like to get in touch with me, I would encourage you to do so through Twitter or on Facebook, and now more than ever, I'm trying to transform the Hive Tyrant into a veritable community hub and pillar of the Conquest LCG community. So if you've got articles, if you've got videos, I definitely would like to promote your content, and together we can continue to grow this monumental game and keep expanding our already stellar community. If at any point you feel so inclined to help support the Hive Tyrant, I would be humbled, flattered, and deeply appreciative were you to consider making a small monthly donation to my Patreon, as even $1 on a monthly basis nevertheless does wonders in helping me to cover some of my file hosting and operating expenses, and of course, each and every additional dollar only stands to be reinvested to improve the already reasonable quality of this channel, of my video and audio content. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and once again, be sure to check back in again soon for much more Conquest LCG content to come.